If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns are in the spotlight once again, and this time it's not just about their pursuit of playoff contention, but also the anticipation surrounding rookie running back Quinton Judkins. On Saturday, the team officially signed Judkins to his rookie contract, and while that in itself generated plenty of headlines, the real buzz is about when fans can expect to see him on the field for the first time in the NFL. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the timeline might be shorter than many initially thought. Schefter reported that there is a real possibility, and even a likelihood, that Judkins will make his NFL debut as soon as Week 2, when the Browns take on the Baltimore Ravens in a divisional showdown. That's significant news considering the fact that Judkins has been absent from training camp and the preseason due to legal complications, leaving a question mark over his readiness and availability. The situation surrounding Judkins has been anything but straightforward, and it's worth revisiting the timeline to understand the context. On July 12th, the rookie was arrested in Fort Lauderdale on a misdemeanor domestic violence charge, an event that instantly put his NFL career in jeopardy before it even began. However, the charge was dropped last month, and the memorandum explaining the decision pointed out a lack of clear evidence. No video surveillance captured the alleged incident, no independent witnesses stepped forward, and the victim's injuries, though documented in photographs, were not consistently visible in other videos taken during the same period. Furthermore, authorities highlighted the delay in reporting the incident, which they described as problematic, ultimately concluding that there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction. While this legal cloud has now dissipated, the shadow it cast kept Judkins sidelined during valuable preparation time. Even with the charges dismissed, the NFL is still conducting its own review, as is customary under the league's personal conduct policy. Schefter noted that Judkins is scheduled to meet with league officials this week as part of that process, and it will be an important checkpoint in determining his immediate future. The league's investigations often carry unpredictable outcomes, but the fact that insiders are suggesting Judkins could play as soon as Week 2 signals optimism from within the Browns camp and possibly from the league office as well. If all goes smoothly, Judkins could step into the professional spotlight in one of the NFL's fiercest rivalries, Browns versus Ravens, a game that's guaranteed to be physical, high stakes, and emotionally charged. That setting could either be the perfect stage for a breakout or a daunting debut for a young player still trying to find his footing. For Cleveland, the timing of Judkins' potential debut couldn't come at a more crucial moment. Week 1 will almost certainly feature Jerome Ford as the lead back, supported by rookie Dylan Sampson, who was drafted in the 4th round of this year's draft. While both are talented, the Browns' offensive blueprint clearly envisioned Judkins as a key contributor, and his absence has forced some early improvisation. Ford has shown flashes of capability, but he lacks the power-speed combination that Judkins displayed throughout his college career. Sampson, meanwhile, is still very much a developmental prospect. Bringing Judkins into the mix in Week 2 would not only give the Browns' offense a jolt of energy, but also balance out their ground game, making it more difficult for defenses to key in on any one style of runner. For a team that leans heavily on its rushing attack, the impact could be immediate and significant. What makes Judkins such a compelling addition is his track record before reaching the NFL. At Ole Miss, he was one of the most explosive backs in the SEC, racking up yards with both patience and power, and showing a knack for breaking tackles in big moments. His ability to turn routine plays into chunk gains was a defining trait, and scouts consistently highlighted his vision and burst as qualities that translate well to the professional level. The Browns, who pride themselves on physicality and establishing dominance in the trenches, clearly saw in Judkins the kind of back who could extend drives, wear down defenses, and complement their quarterback-led attack. That's why his delayed start has been such a source of frustration for fans eager to see him bring that college production to the NFL. The possibility of his debut against Baltimore makes the wait both shorter and more intriguing. Of course, questions remain about Judkins' readiness, and those cannot be overlooked. Missing all of training camp and the preseason is no small matter, especially for a rookie adjusting to the speed, complexity, and physicality of the NFL. Conditioning, playbook mastery, and chemistry with the offensive line are all factors that can't be replicated outside of live reps. While the legal issues explain his absence, the football reality is that Judkins will essentially be learning on the fly, and the Ravens' defense is hardly a soft landing spot. They are known for their toughness up front and aggressive pursuit of the run, which could pose a steep challenge for any rookie. Yet, sometimes adversity and a trial by fire bring out the best in players, and Judkins may relish the opportunity to prove he belongs on one of football's biggest stages. Another layer to the story is the narrative of redemption and second chances. For Judkins, the drop charge doesn't erase the questions or concerns that surfaced in July, but it does give him an opportunity to move forward and focus on football. In the modern NFL, reputations are fragile, and public opinion can swing drastically based on performance and conduct both on and off the field. If Judkins can stay focused, stay out of trouble, and deliver the kind of performances the Browns envisioned when they signed him, he has a chance to rewrite the early chapters of his professional story. For Cleveland, this is more than just about adding depth to their roster. It's about investing in a young player who could grow into a cornerstone if he seizes the moment. That journey starts not with words or speculation, but with his first official snap. As the countdown to Week 2 begins, Browns fans find themselves caught between cautious optimism and outright excitement. The matchup with Baltimore is always circled on the calendar, but the added intrigue of Quinshon Judkins' potential debut makes it even more compelling. Will he step into the spotlight and instantly remind everyone why he was such a coveted talent coming out of college? Or will the rust from his time away slow his start, requiring patience and perspective from a fanbase hungry for results? Either way, Adam Schefter's report has turned what could have been just another divisional clash into must-watch television. Judkins' story is already layered with twists and challenges, but if he takes the field next Sunday, it will mark the beginning of a new chapter, one that could define not only his career trajectory, but also the Browns' season in ways no one could have predicted just a few weeks ago. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The rumor coming out of Cleveland is one that has shaken the walls of the Browns facility and set the fan base on fire with speculation, drama, and endless conversation. According to whispers spreading around the league, head coach Kevin Stefanski may have reached his breaking point with a certain player after a heated disagreement reportedly escalated behind closed doors. While names are being kept under wraps for now, what insiders are hinting at is that Stefanski was so frustrated, so visibly upset, that he allegedly demanded the front office find a way to move on from the player immediately. That kind of reaction is rare from Stefanski, who is known for his calm, measured demeanor on the sideline and his ability to keep the locker room united. The fact that such a quiet storm has turned into an outright explosion has created shockwaves that nobody saw coming. The situation reportedly began during a team meeting, when tensions flared between Stefanski and the player in question. Sources suggest it wasn't just about a single mistake on the field, but rather a culmination of frustrations that had been building for weeks. Whether it was missed assignments, lack of effort, or a clash of personalities, something finally snapped, and Stefanski could no longer hold back. Coaches usually manage disagreements with subtle adjustments or quiet conversations, but this time, the head coach allegedly let everyone in the room know that he was no longer willing to put up with what he perceived as a distraction. Teammates who were present supposedly sat in stunned silence, realizing this was not the usual controlled Stefanski they had come to know, but rather a coach who felt disrespected and wanted swift action taken to protect his culture and vision for the team. The Browns have been carefully crafting a culture of discipline and accountability under Stefanski's leadership, and for the most part, that plan has worked. However, this sudden outburst suggests there may be deeper cracks beneath the surface that fans and media haven't seen. When a coach who has built his reputation on even-keeled professionalism openly demands the departure of a player, it sends a clear message: nobody is bigger than the team. This has sparked debates among insiders, with some praising Stefanski for taking a hard stance to preserve order, while others worry that such an emotional decision could divide the locker room. The NFL is no stranger to these kinds of clashes, but in Cleveland, where expectations are sky-high, the timing feels critical. Every little distraction could ripple into something larger, and the coach's fiery reaction only amplifies the spotlight on the Browns' already pressure-filled season. Fans, of course, are reacting in their own passionate way. Social media is buzzing with speculation about who the mystery player could be, with theories flying from star receivers to veteran defenders, each name igniting arguments and fiery debates. Some are convinced that this is nothing more than smoke designed to motivate the locker room, while others insist that Stefanski's explosion was far too genuine to be a tactic. The Browns' faithful, long-starved for consistent success, are torn between supporting the coach's no-nonsense approach and worrying about losing a key contributor in the middle of the season. The city of Cleveland thrives on football, and any rumor that suggests turmoil instantly becomes the talk of every bar, office, and living room. For now, nobody knows the full truth, but the speculation is enough to keep this story alive and growing with every passing hour. From the player's perspective, the situation is equally complicated. If the rumors are true, being singled out in such an intense way could damage not only his standing within the team, but also his reputation around the league. Other franchises are always watching how players handle adversity, and being labeled as someone who clashed with his head coach can stick. On the flip side, some in the locker room might sympathize with him, especially if they feel the coach overreacted or let emotions get the best of him. Football is an emotional sport, and sometimes clashes are simply the product of passion boiling over. But when that clash results in a head coach reportedly demanding a player's removal, the dynamics change drastically. The player's future becomes a question mark, and so does the stability of the team as a whole. What makes this rumor even more intriguing is how Stefanski has been publicly portrayed until now. His calm sideline demeanor, his structured press conferences, and his steady leadership style have made him one of the most respected coaches in the league. For someone with that kind of reputation to explode in this manner suggests that whatever caused the blow-up wasn't minor. It may have been a direct challenge to his authority, a visible sign of disrespect, or a moment that undercut everything he's been building since arriving in Cleveland. Coaches are human, and even the most disciplined ones can snap under the right conditions. But this event, if confirmed, will likely alter the perception of Stefanski going forward. The man who was once seen as unshakable may now be viewed as combustible under pressure, which could invite both criticism and sympathy from around the NFL. Inside the Browns' front office, this situation places decision-makers in a very delicate position. On one hand, they must back their head coach, showing that the culture he's building is the foundation of the franchise. On the other hand, they must consider the roster, the investment made in players, and the ripple effect of moving on from someone mid-season. If Stefanski truly demanded a departure, the front office has to weigh whether fulfilling that request strengthens the team in the long run or weakens it immediately. Balancing relationships, contracts, and future plans is never easy, and with the added pressure of a fan base desperate for success, the stakes are enormous. Every decision becomes magnified, and this one, tied to raw emotions and public speculation, could become one of the most defining choices of the Stefanski era. Ultimately, whether this rumor proves accurate or not, it has already become one of the most captivating storylines of the Browns season. Fans are on edge, the media is circling, and the locker room is undoubtedly buzzing with private conversations about what really happened. Even if the team tries to downplay it in public, players are human, and they feel the tension when leadership clashes. For Stefanski, this moment could either reinforce his authority and galvanize the team or create fractures that linger far longer than intended. For the player, it could either mean a fresh start elsewhere or a redemption arc if cooler heads prevail. And for the city of Cleveland, it is yet another dramatic chapter in a football journey filled with ups, downs, and unforgettable twists. Whatever happens next, this story won't fade quietly. It will follow the Browns all season. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!